I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with some new products from Charlotte Tilbury. And I ordered these off of the Charlotte Tilbury website because they launched there first, but I think they're also available on the Sephora website. At least I've seen the concealer on there, but not the new powder just yet, but I'm sure it's coming. So she came out with the new Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. There's 0.25 ounces of product in here. And this concealer is made in Germany. So this is the box packaging, and there's a bunch of like claims on the side that says stuff like dark circles appear reduced by 40% in 28 days. Skin looks smoother and more radiant. Just kind of a bunch of little claims right there. I obviously just got this, so I can't attest to those just yet. But there's hyaluronic acid and golden vitamin C, collagen, and niacinamide in it, which is like makes you think nourishing, which I'm all about that for my dry under eyes. So I got the shade number 2 Fair, and it actually matches me really well. Sometimes it's kind of like, it's been hit or miss with me ordering anything in Charlotte Tilbury's like complexion range. So I'm glad that I kind of hit this one right off the bat. So this is again, the box packaging. It's white. And then here is the packaging for the concealer. I much prefer this style of packaging over her Magic Concealer with that little spongy deal. This is just much easier to use than that one. So there is a doe foot applicator that's kind of your standard, if not a little bit smaller than a normal doe foot. And again, this is the shade number 2. This is the concealer that I have underneath my eyes today, and it blended out very, very nice. And it also it did have a radiance factor to it, but not in the sense that there was like a shimmer or a shine to it, but like a glowing skin, like a nourishing look of skin is what it looked like. So I'm pretty excited about it. I've only set it with the new powder, which I'll show you guys in a minute as well, but I'm excited to try it with some of my other like favorite under eye setting powders. And the thing with this one is it's like a medium to full buildable kind of coverage, but the way that it sits on the skin, it doesn't have this, for me at least, it doesn't have this super separation between like foundation and concealer that a lot of concealers that have a fuller coverage have. So I'm happy about that. It's like a fuller coverage without that distinction, if you will. So this is the shade, again, number 2. It's underneath my eyes today, and I really, really like this concealer so far. It's been underneath my eyes for about 5 hours now. There isn't any creasing with the powder that I set it with, and it feels very, very comfortable as well. So enjoying this one. This is again, the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer, and that's the shade number 2 Fair. And then her new powder is called the Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish Powder. So this has got 0.31 ounces of product in it, and this powder is made in Italy. So here is the packaging for it. Again, there are some claims for this. So skin looks smoother and brighter by 80%, reduces the appearance of wrinkles by 81%. I did just get this, so I can't attest to any long-term effects, but I can say that it does feel very nice underneath the eyes. It's got a nice set in conjunction with that concealer with no migration, but it still feels really comfortable on my drier under eyes. So I'm happy about that. So the shade that I got is Fair Medium, which is the lightest of, I want to say, 3 or 4 shades that she came out with, and it is magnetized inside the compact, so I believe they're going to do refills at some point. So this one here, again, is the lightest one, and in comparison to like the Flower Nose or the Carsalon or Florasis powders that I really love underneath the eyes, they're just super finely milled, like undetectable powders. This one is a little bit, it's got a little bit more pigment to it, and it's a little bit more of a, I don't want to say heavy because it is very light, but it's heavier than those powders that I just mentioned because those are like extremely undetectable on the skin. But it almost adds, because of that little bit of color that it has in that little bit thicker formula compared to, again, those other ones. This is a pressed powder, so it's going to be a little bit thicker than a loose one anyway. It does really brighten up my under eyes, especially when I use it with that concealer. So I'm excited to try the concealer with a couple other powders too, to see kind of what it looks like without this extra brightening from the powder. So I've got the concealer and the powder underneath my eyes today, and this powder does have some radiance to it. Initially I just thought it was matte, but when I looked up close, there is a little bit of a pearl, I don't know if I want to say pearl, but the slightest bit of radiance. There's no detectable shimmers or any flakes like that, but there's just the slightest, tiniest bit of radiance. I mean, you really have to look to try to see it, but it's not like super flat matte. And I just put this underneath my eyes as well. I haven't used it all over the face. I'm putting over that concealer so you can see how that powder brightened up the concealer there. So again, I'm interested to try the concealer by itself, and I'm also interested to try this powder with other concealers that I have that are a little bit too dark, because this is going to brighten them up really nicely. So I've kind of been so-so about Charlotte Tilbury powders underneath the eyes, but this one I think looks really pretty, and it's very light again, and it doesn't feel drying. So I'm excited about this too, and I love the newer compact with the white and the wings on there. So that is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Eye and Face Micro Powder. That's quite the title. And then I bought quite a few eyeliners. I was in the Sephora. It's a new one that came out in Kohl's. They're like closing down the one that's inside JCPenney's, and then they opened one up in Kohl's. And it's a bigger Sephora, and they had Charlotte Tilbury, and they had like Patrick Ta, brands that the Sephora inside JCPenney's didn't have. So I'm really excited about that. So anyway, I got to swatch some things that I hadn't been able to like see in store, but I'd kind of been looking at online. And one of them is the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Color Ink 24-Hour Waterproof Liquid Liner. And I got the shade 04 Matte Plum. So this is the packaging right there. There's 0.06 fluid ounces of product, and this is made in Germany. So this is what the packaging looks like. The formula of this is very thin, and it's very watery. So like there's a little thing in there for you to like shake it up like a ball to really mix the formulation up. So I do that. But you still have to really layer this product up to get the opacity out of it. And this has got a very kind of stiff felt tip applicator, which makes doing like a smooth wing kind of difficult for me. I prefer a kind of a brush tip. And hopefully you can see that translucency in the formula. So it's almost like you have to let that dry and then go over it to get the opacity of this color. And that's kind of annoying. It takes a while. It took me longer than I would have liked to do my wing liner when I used this, but it was very long wearing, and it was water resistant. Like I didn't get any smudging or anything like that from this, but it was very difficult to work with, and it also kind of looked dry and constricting on the skin, if you will. So I'm not crazy about the applicator. I'm not crazy about the formulation, but I love the color. And the ease of use is just not there for me, but this is kind of dried. So I'm going to go over it again so you can see the opacity that it kind of builds up. The color's so pretty. But yeah, I mean, you can see like even when I just, it kind of, you know, I wish it was more pigmented, like one swipe it was really saturated, you know, and it's just not. So you have to go over it a lot. The applicator's quite stiff, and it just takes some work to get the liner, but the color's beautiful. So anyway, I'm not crazy about the product itself. So that is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Ink, and what did I say? Matte Plum 04 is the color. I really just wish that Essence, the Super Precise eyeliner from Essence, is like my absolute favorite liquid liner. I wish they came out with these colors, like these deep plums and rich blues and stuff. But anyway, they don't, but hopefully they will. So I also got one from Juvia's place. They came out with the Garden of Juvia's colored liners. They had a whole bunch of them, and I got the blue shade in Cobalt Blue. There's a total of 0.11 fluid ounces of product in this guy, and this one is made in the USA. So this is the packaging, and this is the eyeliner that I have on the upper lid for the wing, and it's just a really pretty cobalt blue shade, which is the name, Cobalt Blue. So I do shake this one up as well, and when I swatched these in the store I got really excited because these do have a brush tip applicator, but the brush on this one isn't quite as flexible, so I kind of worked it on the back of my hand a bit to get it to soften up, but I do prefer, again, that brush tip applicator. So that is what it looks like right there, and the formulation on this one is thicker, more opaque compared to the Makeup Forever, and the color, I mean, you can see right there just how pretty it is, but it starts to dry pretty quickly, so you kind of have to work quickly at it, and it's very long wearing. It's like waterproof. Like I had some on my hand earlier and I had to scrub that to get it off. I really like it for that aspect, so I can wear a really bright cobalt blue eyeliner outside with my watery eyes and not have to worry about it like getting all over the place. But that being said, it has a little bit of a tack to it, and because I've got those hooded lids, my hood comes down all the way to like the lash line on the outer portion, and where the liner's at, it can kind of grab right there. So I had to kind of fill that in with another liner I'll show you in a bit, because it kept kind of sticking to itself. So it's another formula that I'll have to kind of work with and play with, but if I want a long-lasting winged liner in that color, this is a good one for that. Like, it's just a really pretty color. I love the packaging too. It's a pretty packaging, but again, it dries quite quickly, and you have to kind of work with it so that it flows like with a crisp line, if that makes sense. But otherwise, I'm really good in terms of a long wearing liquid liner. So that is the Garden of Juvia's colored liner in cobalt blue right there, and again, I've got that on the upper lash line. So because that it has that long wear formula, again, it does also kind of constrict the skin and look a little bit drier than others. Just kind of want to make mention of that. I think I touched my face with liner. Oh, no. So the other liner that I was talking about that I used to kind of touch up in that crevice of skin there is this liner from the Gwen Stefani brand Gxve, and it's the shade Bathwater. So this is a pencil liner. There's 0.04 ounces of product. It's a 24-hour gel pencil liner, and this one is made in the USA. So it is this guy right here, and this is also the liner that I've got on my waterline, and this is really nice. Like, I need more colors for the waterline. I need a green, okay? I need like a bright green because this is a really nice liner. It stays on the waterline really well. It goes on. I do like 2 passes to get it really opaque, but it doesn't pick up on itself for when I want to touch it up for the second go around to make it really opaque. It stays really well. I don't get a ton of migration on my inner tear ducts, and it's just like a really creamy, long-lasting gel pencil. I am a little worried typically when I get one like that they dry out quicker, but I'm hoping that this one doesn't. So this is the pencil, and again, I put it kind of right through there to touch up that Juvia's Place liner, but this has got a bit of a shimmer to it, and it's a really, really pretty blue color. Nice and creamy, almost has a slight blackened base to it, but a really pretty metallic blue. And it's a good one. My mom actually bought the black one, and she's been enjoying that one as well. So that is the Gxve Line It Up 24-hour gel pencil liner. And what did I say the shade was? A Bathwater. And I've got it on the waterline as well. Really nice gel liners. Need more colors of that. That eyeliner is also really like non-irritating for my sensitive eyes, which is another plus. So Stila also came out with liners. So they came out with the Stay All Day Artist Sticks graphic liners, and I got one shade in the shade Hulu, which is a green, and I thought it was going to be a little bit brighter, but it's a shimmer green with kind of a blackened base to it. The packaging is really pretty. There's 0.007 ounces of product in this guy. The kitty's got a hold of the box there, and this pencil is made in Italy. So again, this is the shade Hulu, and this one, I wiped my waterline off with a Q-tip first to really try to get it to adhere, and I still have to make a couple passes to get it opaque. And then too, this one flakes off in my eyes, so I get a bit of irritation to it, and it also doesn't have that longevity that I'm looking for a waterline pencil. So I'm not crazy about, oh, it just broke off. There was just the littlest piece sticking out. You'll find that with 2 other pencils from Stila I'm going to show you in a minute. So these are the kind they twist up and they click, and they don't twist back down. So you only want to put a little bit out at a time so that it doesn't break off, because the end there, even though there was only this much out the last time, it still broke. So I'll try to go a little more dead on here to help with that so I can show you guys the swatch, because they are really creamy pencils. And you can see that's got like a metallic finish as well. But but I didn't, it was irritating on the waterline. It was hard to get on, and it didn't last how I was hoping it to last on the waterline. So again, I'm not crazy about this particular one, and that again is the Stila Stay All Day Artistics Graphic Liner in Hula. I should mention too the liner from Gwen Stefani. This is a sharpening pencil liner, where this one is a click up and it doesn't click back down. Stila also came out with new lip liners, and these are the Stay All Day matte lip liners, and I got 2 shades. I got the shade Lasting and then the shade Evermore. Lasting is the lip liner that I have on my lips today. So these have got 0.002 ounces of product, very small amount of product, and they are made in Italy as well. So this is the box packaging right here, and these have the same style of packaging as the liners in terms of it, that it clicks up but it doesn't click back down. They're a little bit longer and skinnier than the liner pencil is. So I'll swatch the one that I have on right now, and again, same thing. You just want to put a little bit of product out at a time, and I did that with both of these, but the one in Lasting has broke off twice for me. With that little amount of product, I'm like, I try really hard not to get too much out, but if I don't have enough out, when I go to line it, the pencil plastic part of the lip liner is going to grab what I went over and pick it up, you know. Hopefully you know what I'm saying. So you do have to be careful with it. So I'll just kind of, I'm trying to click this up here just a little bit. That might be been a little bit too far, and I'm gonna see it broke. That's like this is frustrating because there's so little product in here. So that's the 3rd time that this pencil has broke, and I've got very, very little amount of product out there. So let's try it again. I'm pressing very lightly as well. So again, this is the shade Lasting, which I have got on my lips today. And now the formulation of these is very long wearing. So when your lipstick wears off and stuff, you will have lip liner remaining on your lips. It's not one of those lip liners that fades off nicely. So when I put it on, I put lipstick all the way out to the edge of my lips over the lip liner to kind of help it not be so liney after the inner of the lipstick fades away, if that makes sense. But it's a very long lasting, long wearing formula, and it does glide on the lips pretty nicely. I'm just not crazy about it breaking off like that. So the other shade that I got is Evermore, which appears like it's going to be a peachy nude, but it's got more of a pink undertone than that. This one I have not had issues with it breaking off just yet. Now watch it break off. And this is a really pretty color. Same with the long wearing formulation. So that is the shade Evermore. And I really like the tones of both of these. The only thing that's been annoying me about this is the breaking off of the other pencil again. So otherwise, these are really nice long wearing pencils from Stila. And those again are the Stay All Day matte lip liners in Evermore and Lasting right there. And then the day that I was in Ulta kind of swatching stuff, Lilly Lashes was their 21 Days of Beauty kind of sale, and they were 50% off, and I thought I would try these. They're their kind of half lash, so they're the 3D Faux Mink, and this is the shade. It's not a shade. This is the style Sassy. I love the box packaging for these. So they're already cut, and I did place these on my eyes, and I'm not going to have to like trim them or anything. I can just set them on the outer corner, because typically is what I do wear is a half lash or a 2/3 lash at most. Like I just can't wear, or I don't prefer a full strip lash at all. So this is just kind of right up my alley. So I did put these on, and they're very kind of petite in comparison to some of the other ones, but they're like a they enhance kind of the thickness of the lash line for a little bit more definition. They're just not quite as long as some, but they are really pretty, and I got them 50% off. And this is again is the style Sassy, and I love the box packaging. I was kind of like, should I get a couple pairs? And then I just didn't know if I would like them as much and stuff. So I'm actually glad I just got the one pair, because they are a little bit more tame for what I typically go for in an eyelash. So, but they are really pretty. And then I just can't help myself, okay? I got the new Too Faced Pumpkin Spice Second Slice eyeshadow palette, which, I'm going to say it. If you have any of the Pumpkin Spice Too Faced palettes, you already have this. This is just the same iteration in terms of colors as the rest of their other palettes, which is it's kind of disappointing because I'm really itching to see something new and fun from Too Faced. They can do it. I just don't know why they don't. So anyway, this is the Sweet and Spicy Eyeshadow Palette. It's their latest palette, and this one here is bulk made in the USA and assembled in the Dominican Republic. There are 18 eyeshadows that are 0.031 ounces per shade, so kind of a lot of product in terms of shades and a mediocre small amount in terms of each pan. So this is interesting. This is one of the first ones that they've done like this that doesn't have their tin packaging. It's actually in a cardboard style packaging, which I don't mind, and it does have a little bit of like texture where the pie is, and it also has got like that pumpkin spice scent to it, but it's not overbearing or anything like that. So even though we've seen these, you know, colors time and time again, I will say that the formula of the shadows in here is pretty nice. Like some of the times these palettes will come with some stiff shades and some duds and some that look really shiny that aren't. These ones are okay. The mattes in particular stick out to me. They blend and they're pigmented and I don't get a ton of fallout from them. And that being said, this one isn't a standalone for me because everything in here is like mid-tone or deeper on my skin tone, so I don't really have a shade that I can kind of highlight with. I put this shade underneath the brow and it deepened quite a bit from my skin tone. I didn't like play with it or try to lighten it up. I just left it and it was okay, but it wasn't quite highlighty enough. And then this shimmer is kind of mid-tone again. So I do have to bring in something for my liking to kind of brighten this up for me. But let me go ahead and give you guys some swatches. Now, if you don't have any Too Faced Holiday Spice Pumpkin Toast Cinnamon Swirl palettes, this might be a good one to check out because again the formula is pretty nice in this one. And then these next ones, like I went into this and I was like, I know I have that palette in, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 other palettes, but I always get them. And I like to try them out and I like to swatch them and compare them and stuff, and yeah, again the formula is pretty decent in this one. And then these next ones. For me, the matte shadows in this palette kind of really stood out because they just worked so well. I love this orange, and I really love that kind of pumpkin yellow orange as well. Last two shades. There's definitely quite a bit more mattes than there are shimmers in this one, but those are the swatches for what it's worth. And again, that is the new Too Faced Pumpkin Spice Second Slice eyeshadow palette right there. And then I also purchased the new Tarte Man-Eater After Dark eyeshadow palette. This one just looks super pretty. It's got 24 eyeshadows that are 0.035 ounces each. So you're just getting a lot of shadows in here with a pretty decent amount of product per shadow for that many. And this one here, let me find out where she's made. It says on the back of the palette that this one is made in Taiwan. So this is the box packaging right here. And then there is a plastic sleeve that says Man-Eater in there. And then here is the packaging. This for me is very refreshing coming from Tarte. And I really like the packaging of this palette, and I really like the palette itself. The formulation of the shadows in this is really nice. This reminds me of the style of packaging the Artist Couture has been doing, where it's got that kind of fancy rounded edges where it doesn't meet up completely like in the corners. They're like rounded inward, so it feels quite luxe. It's got a decent weight to it as well. Then you've got your little leopard print on there. Mine has kind of gotten scratched a little bit in the little bit of time that I've had it, but Just wanted to make mention of that. And then there's a pretty giant mirror in there as well that you can stand it up at different angles. That's as far as it goes back though. And then here are your shadows. So this is the palette that I've got on my eyes today. And again, the formulation of this is really, really nice. I get very little fallout. The shimmer metallics are super shiny. The mattes are pigmented and they blend out really well too. The only complaint that I have is that out of all of the like really beautiful metallics, there isn't one that's really light enough for me to have like a little punch on the inner portion of the lid or underneath the brow. These ones here I can use for underneath the brow for like a matte highlight, but all the shimmers are kind of mid-tone or deeper. So I did bring in a little bit of the highlight shade that I have on my cheeks on the inner portion of the lid to compensate with the other shadows from this. But that is like my only complaint with it. And again, this is just a really pretty one from Tarte. Wait till you see how like stunning some of the metallic shades in here are. That one blends right into my skin tone. Oh, and then these next ones. And these guys. I think I've got these 3 shades on today. And then these next ones. And then these last 4. And yeah, my only complaint is there just wasn't one shade in here that was like a lighter shimmer shade. I gotta set this down so I can kind of swatch these properly. All kind of berry tones there. Gonna give you those swatches again here. So that one is the new Tarte Man Eater After Dark eyeshadow palette, and it's pretty nice palette there with tons of pretty shades, except for one light enough for me to highlight with. And there's the packaging again. And then I placed an order on the Sugar Drizzle website for 2 new products that they launched, and I think this is a collaboration, but I didn't look into it. So this is the Darlin Nikki's My Lighter right here. And this guy, it doesn't say how much product is in here, but it is made in the PRC. And this is the highlight that I have got on my cheeks today, and then also are the points on my face that I highlight, and then also a dash on the inner portion of my lid there. And this is so pretty. Like, I'm half tempted to buy a couple because it's really pretty. So that's kind of the size of the compact. It's a small cardboard with a magnetic closure, and then there is the highlighter right there. So it is kind of like a dual multi-chrome style. It's got a strong pink shift, but it kind of depends on what you pair it with. And it's got a decent amount of lightness in the base of it, so it works really well on my skin tone. But it's just so pretty. Again, I am tempted to grab a backup of this, and it's still in stock too, which Sugar Drizzle products do sell out quite quickly. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna go for it. But it's a really beautiful highlighter, and it also sticks to my drier cheeks really well. I wonder if I hold it back here, you can see a little bit more like duochrome-y ness from it. But it's stunning. So that's the Sugar Drizzle Darlin Nikki's My Lighter. And then they also came out with a new 6-pan eyeshadow palette, which I love their eyeshadow formula. So this is the Meant to Be eyeshadow palette, and this one is made in the PRC, and it doesn't indicate how much product is in this guy, but it is a magnetic closure with cardboard packaging, and it's got the little holographic with the bees on there. I love bees. So there are 5 of those shimmery multi-chrome duochrome style shades, and then 1 matte down here. And they're just really, really pretty. This is definitely not a standalone palette for me. I've been pairing it with other palettes. I've actually paired this with the Man-Eater palette from Tarte as well, with some of their warm shades. So you can see this is a multi-chrome, and it's really hard to see those ones shift with the bright kind of filming lights, but and then these two, that's the matte. And that again is the Sugar Drizzle Meant to Be palette, and this is still in stock as well. There you can kind of see that multi-chrome shift with red, purple, orange. Ooh, I'm getting out of focus. And then lastly, I got a PR package from Florasis, which is one of my favorite indie brands. Their packaging is like way up here, man. They're like a really luxury feeling kind of more indie brand. Just stunning stuff. So I was surprised. I didn't even know this was coming. So they sent over their latest Florasis Gorgeous Peach Blossom Powder, and it says 03 on here. So the box packaging is stunning in addition to the actual packaging. And I have tried this powder before in a different style of casing, and it's a stunning powder for underneath the eyes. So this powder here is one that I was kind of comparing when I mentioned it with the Charlotte Tilbury powder. It's so finely milled and so like undetectable on the skin. So this is a loose version. This powder does come in a pressed version too. Let me peel the sticker off the top here so you can see how pretty the packaging is. It just tells you on the sticker how to open up the actual packaging, because it's not how you would think. It actually twists. So let me show you guys how beautiful this is. So it's got 8.5 grams of product in here. And again, they're saying this is 03. It's a kind of a white translucent powder. On me, it doesn't give the brightness like the Charlotte Tilbury does. It just kind of melts in with my skin tone. So you twist it like this, and then it opens up. And this does come with a powder puff as well. That is one of the softest, like powder velour style powder puffs. And it goes inside right there. I'm just going to take it out for showing you guys. And then you flip the top open right here. And then there's that mesh kind of screen, which I'm not crazy about the mesh screens, but it does poof out quite well, the powder. And then here's your powder. And it is silky, silky, silky smooth powder. And it does kind of show that initial little bit of white right there. But when you set it on the skin, it just turns to kind of nothing, and it is the softest, most finely milled silky powder. Again, this is a powder that I love to set underneath the eyes with. It even like makes the back of your hand feel like you just put lotion on it or something, because it's that soft. So that's the Florasis Gorgeous Peach Blossom Powder, and I believe this is a new compact that they have come out with some lip products that they launched as well. So the lip products are called the Dew and Jade Like Glowing Lip Gloss. Again, the packaging is stunning. A lot of the writing on their stuff is in like Mandarin, so I can't quite read everything about it. 3.6 milliliters of product. So this first one that I grabbed is the shade G101, and again, their packaging is beautiful. So the best way to describe this formula is that lip oil gloss hybrid. It doesn't have the slickness of a lip oil, but it doesn't have the tackiness of a gloss. So it doesn't have like that sticky feeling or that runny feeling either. It holds really nicely on the lips with this silky smooth feeling to it. And these particular ones do leave a bit of a stain behind, so I'm going to swatch them all for you guys, and then afterwards I'll wipe them off so you can see kind of the stain of each one. So again, this first one is G101, and they do have a slight how do you say it? It reminds me of like a skincare product. I wonder if it's like that ginseng smell. Not overpowering or anything like that. So this is the first shade in the G101 right there. That's what the doe foot looks like. This next one is G502. G502. Sounds like we're playing bingo. And then we have got G501. So here's G501. And then we have G102. So here's G102. This is one of my favorite colors in the bunch. This next one is G301. So this one's G301 right here. And then we have G401. This is a pretty color too. It's like a lighter pink. So that one's G401. And then we have G402. So here's G402. A little bit more brown. And then this last one I'm going to put on for you guys because I feel like it matches my lip color the best. And this is G403 right here. So let me go ahead, again, G403. Let me put some of this on. It like looks like on the wand like it's going to be a little bit more berry, but it's not as berry as it kind of looks. Just so you can kind of see the shine that it gives. And again, it feels like one of those gloss oil hybrids. So there are all 8 of the glowing lip glosses, and I think that's why they call them glowing, is because they do leave, I'll show you a bit of a stain behind as well, just so you guys can see the stain. You know, it's a decent stain, and a lot of the times with like staining products, they stain all the same. You can actually see that the stain on these has got a bit of a different undertone with each one, which I think is nice. So, and a huge thank you to Florasis for sending those over. And that is everything for my haul today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.